Good evening. I am Alan Daniel, candidate for an at-large seat on the Board of Education. I apologize for not being able to be present in person. My wife has been dealing with kidney stones for months, and I got a call yesterday saying she was scheduled for a second lithotripsy today at 6 o'clock. I need to be there to receive instruction from the doctor and to drive her home. A little background. I was born and raised in Clemens and graduated with honors from West Forsyth in 1973. I received a full academic scholarship to East Carolina University, graduating in 1978 with a double major in math and computer science. During my last year and a half at ECU, I alternated semesters at school and serving an internship in civil service at Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point. Upon graduation, I was offered a civil service position at Cherry Point, but elected instead to move to Greensboro and accept a position writing software for a small company. I stayed there through the summer and then went with another company that was developing software for local government accounting market. I stayed there until 1987 when I left to form Alan Daniel and Associates, where I developed my own suite of accounting software for local government, continuing to support many of the accounts I had served since 1979, as well as competing for new business. The accounting systems used by local government are basically the same as those used by the school system. So I have an understanding of budgets and finance down to the lines of code that make it happen. As a small company with at most 4 employees, we were able to win contracts in competition with Fortune 500 companies. We were able to do that because I did not go in and try to tell finance directors, some of whom had been doing their job longer than I had been breathing, that they needed to change their process to fit our system. Instead, I would ask them what their greatest need was. What did they need the system to do to allow them to be better at their job, to make their job easier? Then we made it happen. We never advertised. Word of mouth won us all the business we could handle. Those same principles need to be applied to making our local schools the best in the southeastern U.S. We have thousands of great teachers, yet we are the lowest performing urban district in North Carolina, behind Cumberland County, Fayetteville even, when it comes to the percentage of students who are grade level proficient. Why is that? Because we are asking the impossible of our teachers. In 2015, I answered the call for math teachers, stepping away from the business I had spent 28 years building to try to help other kids get the same excellent education I had gotten almost 50 years earlier. I spent a year as an unpaid intern learning under a mentor teacher and taking education courses online. Then in 2016, I stepped into the classroom. It took me less than 2 weeks to realize that most of my students were up to 5 years behind in math. My first class was called Advanced Functions in Modeling. It was a class of juniors and seniors taking their last math class required for graduation. It was all word problems. Everybody loves word problems. My job, as I understood it, was to teach them how to read the problem, break it down, then set up the equation to solve it. 11 out of 24 failed the first test. Most did well deciphering the problem and setting up the equation. They did poorly solving it. 5th grade math. The second week, I tossed the textbook and taught 5th grade math. In the middle of the week, I got called in for a meeting with the principal, who was concerned after seeing the grades. I told him my plan to go back to the woodshed and work on basics and then retest. I got chastised for going off the scope and sequence of the course. I tried to explain to him that if I did not, those students would fail the course. All we were going to do through the entire course was read problems, set up equations, and solve them. Bottom line, everybody passed the retest and that class achieved growth 4.8% above expected growth. All because I didn't listen to my principal. I went back, met those kids where they were, and guided them to where they needed to be to succeed. While I respected his position and his leadership, he was not in the classroom, witnessing the struggles those kids had. I saw it, and I knew how to fix it. But it was a small class. I had the time to do that, at least to some extent. My last class of the day was 32 kids in Foundations of Math 1, the lowest high school math class. When you have 32 kids, that many years behind in math, sitting in a classroom that is 85 degrees and 85% humidity, the same progress is simply not possible. That is what our teachers face. They have far too much on their plates, with students so far behind, with behavior issues, with kids refusing to do any work and not being held accountable, that no matter how great a teacher they are, they cannot do it all. And what do we as a district do? We bring in the experts, most of whom have not been in the classroom since graduation, and most of whom have never taught, to tell our professionals how to do their job. We pile on more professional development, more programs, and a new silver bullet every 2 years because the last one didn't work. What do we need to do? We need to treat teachers like the professionals that they are. We need to respect their personal and their family time. We need to ask them what we can do to help. Then we need to provide them with the financial and human resources they need to meet every child right where they are and guide them to where they need to be successful in life after high school, whether that is directly into the workforce or into 2 or 4 years of continuing education. We need to stop holding teachers accountable for things over which they have absolutely no control. And we need to start holding every student accountable for their own behavior and their own education, from the youngest pre-K student to the high school senior. I'll end with a story. I asked my classes, how many of you think I can shoot threes like Steph Curry? They laughed. If I went into the gym right now and tried to hit a three, what do you think would happen? One gentleman said you'd throw up a brick. I told him I appreciated the compliment. Everybody laughed. He said, that wasn't a compliment. I said, I know what a brick is. It clangs off the iron. That assumes I could get it that far, which I can't. If I tried to hit a three, every one would be an air ball. If I stayed in the gym for 30 minutes throwing up air balls, what would happen? Somebody said, you'd quit. Somebody else said, you'd say, I can't do this. Exactly. How many of you have said that in math class? But I believe if I wanted to badly enough, I could learn to shoot threes like Steph Curry. I might have to spend 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day in the gym until I'm 90. But I could do it. But not by standing at the three-point line. Instead, I would start 3 feet from the basket, right under the backboard, and would shoot from there until I hit 10 in a row. Then I would take a step to the left, and I would shoot 10 from there. And I would repeat that until I had gotten all the way around to the other side of the backboard. And when I had hit 10 in a row from there, I would take 1 step back and repeat. It might take weeks or months or years, but eventually I would get to the three-point line. Then I could walk into the gym confident that I could make a shot from anywhere on the floor because I had done it before. Same with education. You have to want it. You have to put in the work, but it's worth it. Education is your free ticket to anywhere you want to go. Zig Ziglar said, if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. I have built a business. I have reinvented myself. I have been in the classroom. I have seen the very real struggles that our students and our teachers face. I have experienced success as a teacher, and I have experienced great frustration. I do not have all the answers, but you don't have to do well enough in school to win an academic, but you don't do well enough in school to win an academic scholarship without doing your homework. I have been doing my homework on this school district since before my youngest started school in 2011. I have volunteered, I have taught, I have been a sub, and I have been an advocate. If elected, I promise I will keep doing my homework. I will ask questions. I will listen. I will support decisions that provide the very best opportunity for every child in this district to get the same excellent education that I did. I have 2 in high school now. I want the very best for them and every child in the district. I want to thank each of you for being here and to thank the conservative women of Forsyth County for the opportunity to share my thoughts. Please vote Alan Daniel, Board of Education at large. Thank you.